Bradford City continue their 2025-26 League One campaign with the home clash against currently Matt Hamshaw's Rotherham United, but I'm sure that could change over the next 24 hours or so. And in today's video, you're going to find out how both teams have got on so far this season, what my starting 11 would be for this game if I was Graham Alexander. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, then make sure to like, comment and subscribe. But my team Bradford City, we currently sit 5th in the League One table. After 32 matches, we've got 16 wins, 7 draws and 9 defeats, where we've scored 41 goals and also conceded 36. That leaves us on a positive 5 goal difference and 55 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a loss, a win, a win, a loss and a win. In terms of those last couple of matches then, on Saturday we had a disappointing 3-1 defeat away at AFC Wimbledon. For some reason we came into this game and made 5 changes off the back of what we'll come into in a moment, but 2 very good results for Bradford City, and we saw the likes of Kieran Kelly and Lewis Sibley, who've not been included in the matchday squad for about a month or so, come straight back into the side, bringing in players from out the cold to start straight away, starting Mullin as an attacking midfielder when you've got 5 or 6 different options to naturally play in that position. It was just a very confusing team from Graham Alexander, especially when you're going away to AFC Wimbledon, who are a very strong side, especially at home, but a really disappointing result and another poor performance away from home. But we also had a fantastic 1-0 win at home at Stockport County. Anthony Sarsfield scoring the only goal of the game against his former side. There's no real surprise that when your best players play, you do get pretty positive results. You're playing the best back 3 that I think we've got. You're playing your 2 best attacking players in Poynton and Sarsfield. You've got some threats out wide as well in Nerfel and Tyreek Wright, who was dropped completely from the Wimbledon game. So hopefully we don't play our second team in this one against Rotherham, although in this 5-game period between Peterborough and Reading, if you're going to rest any players in any games, you do it at home to the worst away side in the division, who've lost their last 3 games. But obviously I'm not a football manager, so what do I know? Prior to that one then, we had a 2-0 win at home to Peterborough United. Best performance of the season so far for me. We were absolutely fantastic in this game, and I don't think we'll play any better between now and the end of the season. Total domination from Bradford City. If that finishes double figures, I don't think anybody does complain. Absolutely fantastic performance and a much deserved win. We also had a 2-1 defeat away at Luton Town. Probably a fair result in the end. Obviously we get a late consolation goal through Humphreys, similar to what happened in the game against Wimbledon, but Luton were just better than us. They're very strong at home, our Luton, very poor away from home, similar to us at this moment in time, and I do think that result probably was fair, although we did have some good chances to maybe snatch a point. And we also had a 1-0 win at home to Doncaster Rovers. Tyreek Wright scoring his first league goal for the football club in nearly 2 years, and I think that's given him a lot of confidence in the games that have come since then. A very good finish from him and a deserved win for Bradford City. The stats don't really paint the picture of the game. I do think it was a more dominant performance than them statistics certainly would suggest, but always nice to win your home games, and especially against Doncaster Rovers. Compared though to Rotherham United, who currently sit 23rd in the League One table. After 31 matches, they've got 8 wins, 7 draws and 16 defeats, where they've scored 32 goals and also conceded 46. That leaves them on a minus 14 goal difference and 31 points. They are currently 5 points from safety with a couple of games in hand. Their last couple of matches then have been a loss, a loss, a loss, a win and a win. In terms of those last couple of matches then, on Saturday they had a 2-1 defeat at home to Doncaster Rovers in a big South Yorkshire derby, big relegation at 6 points, and it is yet another defeat. There's been a lot of rumours today that Matt Hamshaw is set to lose his job as Rotherham manager. I think he should have gone back in like October. They're a really, really poor side in my opinion, and I would be surprised if he's in the dugout for this game, although looking at the Rotherham squad, I don't think there's really anybody out there that's going to keep Rotherham up this season, if I am being honest. But it seemed like a pretty poor first half from Doncaster. Second half, they really did turn it on, and Rotherham just didn't really offer much throughout the entire game. First half, their only shot on target comes from the penalty, and second half, not a single shot on target. They're a really poor side of Rotherham, and I'm expecting us to go there, and, well, not go there, go to Valley Parade on Tuesday and give them a bit of a hiding. They also had a 1-0 defeat away at Burton Albion. Again, another big relegation 6-pointer that they've come out of the wrong side with. Burton have just got that quality in the final third, and they're able to keep clean sheets. Rotherham are not able to keep clean sheets at the moment. They've got good threats at the top end of the pitch in Sam Nombe, in Harry Gray, but they're not really creating many chances for their forwards at this moment in time, and like I say, they can't seem to buy a clean sheet. They also had a 3-0 defeat at home to Cardiff City, who had 10 men for about 70 minutes or so, and they were totally dominated at home with Rotherham. Kellyman finds himself on the score sheet. Willock, honestly, for this second goal, you'd think it were Rotherham that were down to about 8 men, the overload that Cardiff did have, and then obviously the scoring gets wrapped up in the 95th minute. But I know you're playing against Cardiff City, who are one of, if not the best sides in the division, but you've played against 10 men for over 70 minutes and only had a single shot on target at home. It goes to show about the standards that really have creeped in to Rotherham over the last couple of seasons. Although prior to that one, they actually had a 4-0 win away at Exeter, a very strong side at home. They got 3 goals in 4 minutes, and that proved to be a fantastic down the road for Rotherham, but I'm sure for the Millers fans, that does feel like a long time ago now. The stats maybe paint a much more even game. Exeter, obviously more shots and obviously a lot more possession, but Rotherham have been very clinical in that one. Maybe used up all their goals for the season in this game, but to be fair, that was a fantastic win. And they also had a 2-1 win at home to Northampton Town. Again, another big relegation 6-pointer. On this occasion, they came out on the right side of it, despite going 1-0 down at home. It took a pretty late winner in the end from Rotherham, but they managed to get through. Obviously, in the reverse fixture back in October, we were 2-0 down, ended up pulling it back at 2-2, and we're pretty disappointed with the point, but our side has changed a lot since that day. I remember the likes of Patterson and Cook and Byrne and maybe even Halliday, those sort of players. Our squad is now very different, and I want us to play our best team. There's no question marks about it. Play the best team for this game. Before we do go any further though with today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 150 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction for this match, and what would your starting 11 be as well. Would you make any changes from Saturday's defeat against Wimbledon? I don't think anybody would go with an unchanged side from that defeat, because some of the selection was bizarre from Alexander. In terms of my formation then for this game, I would stick with the 3-4-2-1 formation. I think especially at home, that is Bradford City's best formation. Maybe when you're going away from home, I think it's clear that we need to find a different way to play to get some results on the road, because it's just not working for us at this moment in time. And to be fair, hasn't really since the beginning of last season worked away from home for Alexander. I think just 5 away wins last campaign. I don't think we've had more than 5 away wins so far this season in the league as well. But in goal for me, I would go with Sam Walker. Certainly not his best performance in a Bradford City shirt on Saturday, but he doesn't really have much competition. You're not going to drop him for Joe Hilton at this stage in the season. Sam Walker was playing in some of the EFL Trophy games as well so far this campaign, so that goes to show what the management staff maybe think of Joe Hilton. I think it's certainly a position that we do need to improve in the summer. I think Walker should definitely be doing better for the first goal, should be doing better for the third one as well, and it certainly was not a good performance from him, so hopefully he can get back to his best in this one. In terms of my back three then, now I've built this back three based off, I would assume Curtis Till is unavailable. Right at the end of the first half, he signalled towards the bench that he'd picked up some kind of injury and then was holding his right hamstring, so I think he'll probably be out for a couple of weeks. If it's same sort of damage that he did at the start of the season, that could be his season over. So at right centre back, I would go with Matt Pennington. Again, not his best performance of the season in a Bradford City shirt, but if we're going to play Aidan Baldwin in the middle, which I think is a priority for Bradford City, then Pennington has to play on that right hand side, because nobody else really can do that. I don't want to see Joe Wright playing on the right side, because I think he does look very uncomfortable and not very natural. But in terms of Baldwin, thought we massively missed him on Saturday. There's no surprise to me that whenever he plays, like against Stockport and Peterborough, we were keeping clean sheets. Dropping our best centre-back was absolutely bizarre. He has to come back in for this one. His diagonals are so important to the way that we play, and definitely needs to be starting in the middle. As my left centre-back, I would go with Ibu Toure. I think he can be very limited as a wing-back, and I only really want to see him playing in that position in the real big games. Like, we've not really got many of the tough teams still left to play this season. I know we've got Bolton at home and Barnsley away, for example, and maybe those type of games is where Toure plays as a left wing-back, but until then, I think left centre-back is certainly his best position for me. In terms of my midfield four, at right wing-back, I would go with Harrison Ashby. Now, this is maybe the only position where I'm not picking the named player that you would expect Bradford City to start if they're going with their best team. But obviously, Josh Nerfield has started the last 3 matches, I think played maybe 90 minutes in all of those games. So I think it does make sense now to give him a bit of a rest, because I think he was very good against Peterborough. He was absolutely outstanding, but then against Stockport, pretty average, very poor against Wimbledon on his return to Plough Lane. So I would like to see Ashby get an opportunity. There's a reason why he's played around 50 games in the Championship, and obviously a reason why we did sign him. So this is the perfect opportunity for him to really see what he can produce. I think he's only starting a Bradford City shirt has been away at Lincoln City, one of the toughest fixtures in the division. So I would like to see him get the nod in this one. In terms of my two central midfielders, firstly, I would bring in the captain, Max Power. Obviously missed the last 2 matches through suspension, and I think we really did miss his leadership on Saturday. I thought Lee Evans had a really poor performance. Had a couple of good moments, a couple of bad moments against Stockport, but I don't see Lee Evans being a regular starter for Bradford City. Quite sloppy in possession and should be doing better for the second goal. That pass back to Metcalf, what they got the throwing from, is awful, and even the third one needs to be much more mobile in there. So I would like to see Power come back in and obviously partner him alongside Jensen Metcalf, who again, I think he's one of the few players that has started the last 3 games, and I'm pretty sure has played every minute in that time, but his fitness levels, his energy levels, they're probably the best in the entire dressing room. So I have no question marks over that, and I certainly don't want to see a midfield partnership of Power and Evans. Hopefully when you go 2-0 up, you can bring Metcalf off after about an hour. He is probably our best player, was our best player on Saturday, but I do think I have one eye on him being rested for Saturday. So even if we're 2-3-0 up by half time, that's when I then bring him off and get him rested and recover, because Saturday against Reading is a massive game, and if we were 3-0 up at home to Rotherham and ended up not winning the game because we brought Jensen Metcalf off, that would be very concerning, which I don't think we would do. So I would have him partnering at Power, and then as my left wing back, I would bring back in Tyreek Wright. Obviously wasn't even included in the matchday squad on Saturday against Wimbledon, which again I think is really bizarre. When Tyreek Wright's finally got his confidence back with that goal that he scored against Doncaster, he's playing really well, was great against Peterborough, good performance against Stockport, to then drop him out the squad entirely, whether you're resting him or not, will certainly knock his confidence. And I just think sometimes they're trying to keep every player happy when it's clear to see that some players are not as good as others. So we're at the stage of the season now where we're in a promotion race, and you certainly have to play your best players. So I would like to see Wright get another start in this one. I think him, Toure, and obviously the left attacking midfielder all link up very well down that left hand side. In terms of my front three then, I have picked what I believe is Bradford City's best 3 attacking options. As my right attacking midfielder, I would go with Anthony Sarcevic. Obviously was an unused substitute on Saturday. I think I'm at that stage of the season now where Sars simply has to play. Whenever he plays, we win. Whenever he doesn't play, we lose. It really is as simple as that. Sarcevic has to play. There is no other player in this squad that is as irreplaceable as Sarcevic, and obviously I understood not really bringing him on. There was no need to bring him on in the position that we were in when we're 2 and then 3-0 down after 70 minutes or so. There's no point in just giving Sars 20 minutes for the sake of it. Get him rested and get him starting in this one against Rotherham, because he is so important to the way that we play. Scored the first goal in the reverse fixture for Bradford City, and I would like to see him come back into this side. As my left attacking midfielder, I have gone with Bobby Poynton. I think I'm now again at that stage where Poynton plays at home in that position and Humphreys plays away from home in that position. I think Humphreys has done very well in his last 2 substitute cameos. Obviously got a goal in both of those games, was an unused substitute in our last 2 home games, but I think Poynton was excellent against Peterborough, worked incredibly hard against Stockport, obviously came on I think at half time against Wimbledon and had a really positive impact on it, was getting balls in the box, getting shots off. I think especially when you're playing at Valley Parade, that 3 down the left hand side in Toure, Wright and Poynton all link up very well. So definitely would be starting at Poynton once again. And as my striker, I would go with Caden Jackson. Obviously, he's played a little bit of football recently, started against Peterborough, came on at half-time against Stockport, came on, or maybe even started actually, against Wimbledon. So he has played a little bit of football, but I do certainly think he is our best striker at the moment. I've not been impressed with either Ethan Wheatley or Paul Mullin in their minutes so far. I think as each game has gone by, we've gradually seen less and less from them too. So I would like to see Jackson get another start. We know those balls in behind he is very, very good at. On the bench then for me, that would leave Joe Hilton, Josh Nerfield, Joe Wright, Lee Evans, George Lapsley, who I think has been treated a little bit harshly. I don't think Lapsley's the best player in the world, but to have a cameo on off the bench against Stockport and then suddenly be completely out of the matchday squad again, and the way that Louis Sibley's out of the squad for a month, I know he had the odd injury also and was out for a little bit, but then Lapsley's not preferred to Sibley. It just doesn't really make sense sometimes, some of the decisions that Alexander does make. Also on the bench for me is Stephen Humphries. I think he's maybe a little bit unlucky not to make it into this side, but I think Poynton's better at home in that position, and I don't think Humphries is a striker whatsoever. And I'd also have on the bench Ethan Wheatley. The players currently unavailable then are, I'm assuming, Curtis Till, given that he obviously came off with what seemed to be a hamstring injury at half-time on Saturday, and hopefully it's only a 2 to 4 week injury rather than 3-4 months like what it was last time. Also unavailable is Nick Powell, who again is still trying to build up his body and fitness, and I don't think we'll see him play again, to be honest. And also Will Swan, who should be back for maybe the Leyton Orient game. That means the players who miss out then through selection would be Kieran Kelly, Louis Sibley, Joe White, and also Paul Mullin. I've not been particularly impressed with any of those players so far this season in a Bradford City shirt, and obviously 3 of those were signed in January. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there then for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 150 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your starting 11 for this match and your score prediction as well. Would you make any changes from Saturday's defeat against Wimbledon? The correct answer is yes. So what changes would you make and what is your team? In terms of a score prediction, given that this is our game in hand, there is no score predictions coming up over on More SHD. Go subscribe to that channel if you haven't already. But I'm back in Bradford City for a 3-0 win. Whether Hamshaw's in charge or not, anything other than giving Rotherham a bit of a hiding, I think will be very disappointing. I don't want to see a scrappy 1-0 home win. I know they're not going to come and just roll over, but they're the worst away team in the division. We're 4th or 5th best home team. You've got to play your best players, and I think we could give them a bit of a hiding. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one.